A new joint liability regime between customer and service provider has been recently introduced in the Italian legal system and will have to be taken into consideration when drafting outsourcing contracts. The new law provides for a joint liability between customer and service provider for the payment of the value-added tax and the employee's social security contributions due by the service provider and its subcontractors as arising out of the performance of the outsourcing contract. The liability is limited to the contract price. Before paying the service provider, the customer is obliged to require the service provider to deliver some documentation that demonstrates that all value-added tax and the social security contributions have been duly paid by the service provider and its subcontractors. In case the service provider doesn't do so, the customer is entitled to suspend payment. It is worth noting that the breach of this provision may expose the customer to sanctions up to €200,000. A similar regime is also applicable to the contracts between the service provider and its subcontractors. Also in this case, the service provider is obliged to ask the subcontractor to deliver proper documentation showing the payment of the value-added tax and the social security contributions. And the service provider is entitled to suspend the payment in case the subcontractor doesn't do so. Given the potential implication, the new law provisions will have to be carefully reflected in the outsourcing contract through appropriate indemnification and limitation of liability provisions. I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to follow our Lawyers Monday.